Happy Sunday, and welcome to another edition of Bowie TV's Sports Spotlight. During this hour, we're bringing you highlights from some of our shows focusing on all things sports in the DMV. Please be sure to give us a follow on all of our social media platforms. First up on Pitt Sports Zone, Beyond the Game takes you into the world of sports, life, and politics on this part 2. On Ravens Verdict, check out the sights, sounds, and press conferences from Week 1 of OTAs. Lastly, on Washington Commanders Update, tune into the highlights and press conferences from Week 1 of OTAs. Don't go anywhere, and as always, enjoy this week's episode of Bowie TV's Sports Spotlight.
Crystal J, phenomenal people, phenomenal power couple. And when I tell you, like I said, the wine is phenomenal. And when he said he was starting this wine, I said, look, I don't care what it costs, I don't care what it takes. Give me cases so I can put it in the restaurant. I said, I try myself, and I can't follow it up, save something for customers. But just want to give him a shout out for sure.
And again, shout out to the National Treasure, Morgan State University. Like I said, you already know me. I focus everything on HBCU. So knowing that this is HBCU made makes it even more of a delightful beverage. Before we transition to the sports and lifestyle of Beyond the Game, what is one misconception that individuals have about local government?
I would say that I think education is the key. There are certain things that, for example, the mayor is not responsible for, or the city council is not responsible for. We get called all the time into our office about things like vouchers or things dealing with housing that there are some local partnerships for more than the federal level. About SNAP benefits. Some of those things that are more at the federal level, the state level, that we don't really directly have control over. Yeah, people will call them and blame the mayor for stuff that's like, it doesn't have anything to do with some of these issues. So I think the education, is a key thing. And as far as misconceptions, I think the abilities of some of our local elected officials to have some impact on matters that are just out of their control.
Yeah. And as we transition and move into that sports, the media and sports side, just to fill in the gap on when we say how they all intertwine. One prime example that we can think of that's current, I won't say current, but a recent activity was Colin Kaepernick.
Oh yes.
Right?
Yes, absolutely.
Colin Kaepernick was the prime example of what sports and politics and life looked like, because in that moment, the misconception of Colin was that Colin was he was protesting against the United States flag, which he wasn't. Right? He was protesting about the inequality and the abuse that black men and women were taking at that time. So he knelt. And when he knelt, it was taken out of context. And then here we have an individual who was great on the football field, but for some reason, his life, the politics side, overtook his professional side, and then minimized the life aspect of the impact that he was having on the game.
Absolutely. I think Jaylen Brown from the Celtics just put out had a quote where he was talking about that if you think that politics and sport are not intertwined, it's not true. They're absolutely intertwined.
Yes.
Even going back to Colin Kaepernick, I think that everyone here loves America. Everyone here loves America. Like I'm full-blooded American. My grandfather fought World War II. My brother is a former Air Force veteran. So we love America. We fought, we have bled, we have died for this country. So to say that we don't believe in this country, or we don't believe in the ideals of this country, and when it comes to freedom and equality, that's just not true. So I think that a lot of people got caught up on the messenger or the way it was presented instead of the actual message.
Yeah, and that happens often a lot. Depending on the message, they look at the color of the messenger and they ignore everything he said, the context of it. right? I don't think it wasn't anything about his tone or anything like that. He did everything the way that you would expect somebody in that position to do it. He was quiet about it, right? All he did was nil. So I agree with that aspect that, I think there's also something that we don't have conversations enough about, especially with the younger generation.
Absolutely. Well, let me ask you this. What gaps have you seen when it comes to the sports space and the political space? Like, what gaps have you seen?
I think when we say gaps, I think we look at it from an aspect of, depending on who you are, because we consider UFC a sport, right?
Right.
So Jake Paul and Logan Paul can say what they want politically, and it's taken with open arms.
Oh, wow.
But then LeBron James or somebody from the NBA speak up, such as Jalen Brown said, and now we're told to shut up and dribble. They're not told to kick and be quiet.
Right. Okay.
You see what I mean? It depends, and it goes back to what you said. The gap is to stop ignoring the actual message and looking at the messenger, but more importantly, if you're gonna be open to one aspect of it, be open to it all. But shutting one side out to hear another is something completely. I think it only divides even more.
So I guess the question is, why combine everything? Why do you think it's important to combine lifestyle, sports, politics? Why do you think it's important to combine everything?
It all plays a part, right? So I'll say it like this. Let's say lifestyle. Lifestyle is the way you live, where you live, your economic system, right? Sports is something that we enjoy, that we all watch, that brings us together. Mm-hmm. Politics is something that essentially divides us. Mm-hmm. Right? So it's a balance. Absolutely. It's supposed to be a balance, but we don't always get that level balance. And as I just spoke about the Logan Paul versus the LeBron James, there's that balance in the way it's received. Now, if it was received equally, then I think it would be a fair game. Right. But I feel, life is a part of life. Politics affects our lives, right? Okay. Absolutely. And sports, as you said, going back to the Olympics, right? When they stood on the podium with the black gloves. And I think there's always, they showed us then that politics and sports will always play a part of each other, because no matter who you are or what you look like, there's people like on Sundays, you're rooting for a black person. But then on Monday, you'll go out and go to a protest to strip black people of all their rights.
I think that is incredible that you mentioned that, because even now, I think one of the bigger issues, and I want to get your opinion on this too, one of the bigger issues that is not being discussed enough right now is the stripping of the Voting Rights Act. And you look at what's going on now, specifically in the South with the extreme gerrymandering that's happening. I know there's somewhat of a push now to try to reach out to some of the athletes and say, hey, don't play in a state where you don't even have representation. And people try to say that it's a Republican-Democrat thing. And let's be honest, it's really a black-white thing. Yeah. And for the most part, there are some African-American Republican elected officials. Absolutely. You have Byron Daniels. You have Wesley Clark, Tim Scott out of South Carolina.
No relation to Justin.
Let's make that clear. No relation. But you do have some Republican elected officials who are African-American, but the overall majority are not. So when you talk about taking a place like Memphis, Tennessee, and breaking it up into 3 or 4 congressional districts, it's a direct attempt to lose the voices of the people in those districts. So if you look at Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, these districts are going to be heavily represented by people that don't look like you or I, or by the people, the overwhelming majority of people that live in those cities. I think that's a travesty. I don't think that's being talked about enough.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because I actually seen a recording earlier today where Stephen A. Smith actually criticized that notion that blacks should stay away from the colleges that are stripping those of voter rights. Like, I think that I think the thing that the misconception, and I'm not defending Stephen A. I think the way that he speaks it passionately. So a lot of people think that that's his stance, and sometimes I get confused too on where he draws the line. Because I think that's a great idea. Why would I want to play in a state that doesn't value me as a person, right? That basically tells me I have no voice. Why would I want to put myself in an environment where I'm in harm's way, basically? I have no rights. You struck Roe v. Wade. you're killing the voting rights, the Civil Rights Act, discrimination laws. So essentially, in other words, we're naked out in those signs.
I definitely think that, again, going back to my role as a Democratic Committee member, our goal is to get Democrats elected. And I think the bigger, overwhelming arcing issue of everything is that I think Democrats care about everything.
Yeah.
Make sure that everyone has a place to go, a place to stand, and a tent, a tent to go under. And I think that the other side, I think Republicans just don't have the same sentiment.
Yeah.
I think that Republicans truly want this country to be to benefit one small sector of the population. I'm not necessarily saying the Americans aren't saying white men, but there's a specific group of people that they target. They want to make sure that life is easy for y'all. It might be a little bit harder for the rest of us. And so, that being said, with everything going on with, like I said, what's being gerrymandered in the South, I am with you. I do believe that these athletes need to be more conscious and need to say, do I want to go play at a university where, for one, I'm getting NIL money now, and there are those who are in some of these state legislators that are seeking to revoke those rights and privileges for me to even make an earning for myself. And when you look at, I always go back to this stat. When you look at the highest paid public employees in most of these states, they're the football coaches. One of the highest paid members of the United States military is the football coaches. So they have a very, very much so influential and heavy impact on matters of the state, and they're using public dollars for the most part. So I think those athletes should have a voice.
Absolutely. Why should the public care?
In terms of why the public should care, let me go back and say this. I think one of the biggest lapses in communication, especially with the Democratic Party, was getting people to understand why this is important. It's no fault of anybody individual, but I think the messaging in terms of getting people to understand you not voting today will not just have an effect on you tomorrow or the next day. It's going to have an effect on you 20 years from now, 30 years from now, your kids' kids.
Yeah.
Donald Trump being able to appoint 4 people to the Supreme Court, that's going to have an effect on our kids' kids. These positions are appointees for life. So we've seen with Ruth Bader Ginsburg that she served up until pretty much her last day on this earth.
Yeah.
And so you talk about some of these younger justices, the opinions and the thoughts they have now, for the most part, they're not going to change. You're not going to have too many Clarence Thomas situations where they'll come in with one kind of set of beliefs, and you see them slowly morph over the course of the years. And we hope that some of these justices do kind of have a change of heart and become a little bit more in the middle. You can say, even if they don't become liberal, but move or shift more towards the middle. You would hope that would happen.
Yeah.
But the history shows that for the most part they're not. So the justices that are put in place now, we're going to have life, or for the rest of their lives, we're listening to other people. So that's one of the biggest, I think, lapses is that part of communication was not pushed out early enough to me.
And like we said, Beyond the Game focuses on sports, life, and politics, all three as one. And as we close out this segment, we want to end it on a rapid fire segment, right? So because Justin Hunt is from Baltimore, because he's from Baltimore, let's go ahead and rapid fire for Justin. Only for Justin.
Okay.
Vote for Justin. Favorite Baltimore food spot?
Of course, Urban Crab. I gotta vote for myself.
Let's get it.
We have the best. First of all, we come here. I tell people, Urban Crab on Friday, Saturday night is the club without going to the club. Absolutely. What I mean by that is we have a great time in here. Like we've had days we celebrated an 11-year-old's birthday party at the same time we celebrated somebody's 80th birthday party. We have a nice vibe here. The food, of course, is amazing. The drinks are cold and they're inexpensive. You're gonna have if it goes to kind of let loose a little bit, you're gonna be able to let loose.
Happy hour all day.
All day happy hour. I just took the model that I used to use in my entertainment side. And it's just like give people a lot for a little.
Yeah.
And it's been so much
and they keep coming back.
Keep coming back.
So, and I agree, listen, the Cajun shrimp fried rice. Man, it tastes so good, man. You want to snap your mama.
Oh, let's not do that.
I'm just playing, mama. You know I'm still scared. I won't do it. Most underrated Baltimore icon, something iconic that's underrated in Baltimore that a lot of people not from here may not know.
Oh, wow.
Not the Ravens, not the Orioles.
Well, I will say this. I have to bring up the Orioles because Camden Yards is such a beautiful venue that I will suggest anybody, even if you're not a fan of baseball, go check out Camden Yards. It's a beautiful ballpark. I've been in a couple different ballparks, and it is phenomenal. It's a great place to watch a game, of course. They've now added some side decks and stuff like that where it's just a great place to be. So I would say it's underrated, but if you have not had a chance to go check it out, even if you're not a baseball fan, go check out Camden Yards. So they had tickets for those like $7, so it's like it doesn't really cost much. You can hop right on the light rail, you can park on the parking rides, hop on the light rail, go down. So it's definitely somewhere everybody should check out.
Lastly, one leader that you admire.
I would say this. I definitely admire, in this thing, starting with Governor Westmore he's somebody that we all, I can say, aspire to be, from a veteran. And he's a very personable person. And, they say people just have that thing.
Yeah.
When you get when you get a chance to like hear him speak like live, it's kind of like, okay, I can feel that thing. I mean, locally, of course, I work for Councilman for that brother, and he's a dynamic person, and he's just a hard-working. He's dedicated to his community, and he doesn't pull punches. And I think that's the thing that I admire. A lot of people that know him admire about him. Is that he's going to tell you how it is, good, bad, or ugly. And so I hope to take that, forward in my own professional career. I never want to be cast as somebody who does not speak his mind.
Absolutely.
Even if it makes a few people
feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, that makes.
But that's the thing. I think that's the thing that we lack in today. We're afraid to have the uncomfortable decisions. The uncomfortable conversations.
Absolutely.
And those are the things that propel and move us as a nation. To be able to have those uncomfortable conversations. But as you heard, man, beyond the game, we are talking uncomfortable because there's some things that Democrats do that others may not agree with, and there's things that Republicans do that others may not agree with, and one way or another, we invite all opinions. We respect all opinions, and for now, once a day, we appreciate you for sitting with us and tuning in for episode 1 of Beyond the Game with Justin and myself. This has been Beyond the Game, where we go beyond the headlines, beyond the opinions, and beyond the game. I'm Terrence Pitts.
I'm Justin Hunt.
And we thank you for joining us today.
We're in the third phase of the offseason program with OTAs. Super exciting time for us. It's really 6 weeks in for the vets, a couple weeks in for the rookies. You really get a chance to kind of take what we've been learning, put it out into action, get some real reps, really compete against yourself, really compete against the standard that you're trying to create for yourself on a consistent basis. That's the main thing. Try to avoid the one-on-one competition, the OD competition, but also get reps and get better by doing it. So love the guys' attitude, love the guys' work ethic. We've had unbelievable off-season program so far, and we're open up to questions.
So who came up with the medicine ball competition? Is there an official name for the competition?
Well, we in practice every day with at our best when our best is needed, period. And so that could be anything. That could be anything different. Today we decided to do a little friendly competition. Right now you can't really do like the football competition, And so thought it would be something different, something fun. Try to get guys to, not know what's about to happen and answer the bell when their number's called. And as simple as that, that's really all we're trying to get done with that and make it fun, have the guys pull for each other. Love the energy there. It was a clean sweep by the offense today.
Pretty disappointing for the defense to go 0-3.
Yeah, it's all right. Stuff happens, and I thought the practice there was a lot of good stuff on both sides, but certainly fun there.
Hey, Coach, with the understanding this is following, guys communicate with you ahead of time, like give you a heads up, going to be here, not going to be here.
Yeah, these guys have been unbelievable. One of our, probably our first meeting, the main topic was just about relationships and communication, and the guys that have had to be out for a day for whatever, had to be out for a day or two for something going on. Communication's been unbelievable. Know where everybody's at, know when they're going to be back, and just super excited about the way that's headed with that piece of it.
Do you expect that Lamar would be here later this week or next week? Or what's the communication been like?
Yeah, Lamar's been one of our leaders of the offseason program, and a couple things going on yesterday and today, and do expect him to be back soon. We've had some great conversations. Know when he's going to be back, and again, I'll probably leave those between me and Lamar.
What's it like going down there to see
just a chance, like a very quick, brief interaction to sort of meet in person, face to face, say hello. Nothing really more than that, and just love every chance that we get to spend together. We've had a lot of good meetings together, talking through things, and so all those interactions, build what you hope to be obviously a long-standing, great relationship, and certainly headed in the right direction.
What are you seeing from Vanga as he transitions into some of these full team workouts, and why are you excited about your vision?
Yeah, Vanga's a beast. In these drills, again, it's very, the O-line and D-line have to work really well together. You're really trying not to be super physical. You're trying not to be violent. You're trying not to necessarily win the rep. You're trying to kind of give each other a really good look. He's done a great job understanding that. He's picked up on everything probably way faster than I would expect a rookie to at any position, I would say. And man, he's got a really bright future, but the best thing about him is just how hard he works and how serious he takes his craft. And so every day he does something, he comes back, it's a little bit better the next day. And so he's, again, the epitome of the draft class, in that sense, and the type of guy you want on the offensive defensive line.
Saw Pinter out there at center running with the first team. What do you like from him, and also just what are you seeing out of the center group as a whole heading through this offseason?
Yeah, that's going to be one where you may see somebody different out there every day. Not necessarily a depth chart competition at this point, I would say. More of a rotation piece to make sure guys know where they're at. They get the same amount of reps. They get to run the different schemes. Danny's done a great job. He's got some experience. He's played in some similar schemes. Javon as well. Corey's done a great job. All three of those guys, the whole idea of the offseason is to put yourself in position to compete for the job in training camp. And I think all three of those guys are doing that.
With Hibner, you spent some time with him obviously early on in Michigan, and what's impressed you about his development and growth since you were with him in Michigan to now obviously his return in the Ravens?
Yeah, the cool thing there was his role, I guess, as a young player at Michigan. He played on all four special team player. Our offense was a tight end heavy offense there. And so there was a lot of inline blocking, a lot of pull blocking, those types of things. And I thought, to me, the coolest thing was to go see him in a spread offense, flex out, make a bunch of plays catching the ball. He always had really good straight line speed and really good hands and body control. So to be able to kind of see him, you'd be able to utilize that within the scheme that he was in. He was obviously at Michigan. We had, maybe the craziest loaded tight end room in the history of college football. A.J. Barner and Colson Loveland, ahead of him on the depth chart. And so, I think he did a great job in his role there, but it was really cool to see him kind of go be a featured piece in the offense there at SMU.
Not to blow up too much, it looks like Coach Lee's here. Is this sort of hey, get my friend in here, have him see what's going on? Is it helpful to have eyes from
Coach Lee and I have become, we worked together for a year, and I would honestly say, since we worked together, we've become even a lot closer. Just now being able to bounce ideas off each other, share ideas both defensively, team-wise, all those different things. And so he's always been somebody that I can lean on. I try to be somebody that he can lean on. Like there's not a, sometimes when you're in those positions, you need those people that you can talk to and you know, run things past and hey, come in and check it out. Give me some honest feedback of what you see. So man, nothing but love and respect, and I love that relationship. Kyle's just again, he's been one of our leaders of the offseason, and expect him as the OTAs goes to be getting a ton of work. So really love seeing Kyle out here. Yeah, there's you know, it's controlled work and it's different schemes, you know, and I think it's a chance, especially for the starters. You go against each other all in training camp, which will do a ton of, you know, good on good work and situational work. But then to get to see, you know, different schemes for each side of the ball, I think will be really beneficial. To sort of get to go against somebody else, sometimes it just changes the monotony of going against the same guys every day. And then I also think this, especially when you do it on the road, it's a real team bonding opportunity. So we get to go up there for a couple of days, spend a bunch of time together, you know, do different things together outside of football, and that's really like the type of team we're trying to build. So our whole idea in training camp is to have us prepared to be ready to play when the regular season starts, and that's just a big piece of, I think, having us ready to play.
So, what's kind of your first impression of Justin?
That's hungry. Wanted that one opportunity and present yourself to the advantage of it. Excited to be here. Excited to get to work. Put the work in so we get the results we need.
What's the vibe? Is there a different change in vibe with the coaching staff coming in and a lot of unfamiliar faces?
No, I think they're just trying to put a culture out there. Culture that they want to set, represent, to work towards every day. Just wants to come in, be coachable, and work hard.
Derek, how much time have you had being able to ask Coach Doyle about sort of his vision for the scheme, and in what ways do you think your skill set can really benefit from everyone else on the offense?
I think right now that we all just trying to learn everything, and learn each other. Everything is so new, but also coach each and every day like a pro, and come out here and work. Just be detailed in the meetings. It's everything I said before. Not so much about scheme, but studying, learning, putting in the work every day, letting it show. Come out here and try to make each other better, hold each other accountable, all of the things we do as a teammate and a team, and then continue to build on those things. Not so much scheme and how I see you, how I see this. It's coming out and being the best player you can be and working hard as you can. That shows the coaches.
Do you think change like that, changing the top 10 would be good for a veteran team?
Yeah. Change can be good. We're all excited for everything. Everything is new, so we're all trying to learn, but also enjoying it, taking it day by day, not trying to get too overwhelmed. Just be present at home.
Derek, you said Jesse and the staff are trying to build their own culture, right? What do you think that looks like and that's going to feel like?
I think just being the best, shooting to be the best every single day. Some days we're better than others, but just keeping that same mindset. Be your best when your best is needed, and that's in meetings, in the weight room, when we conditioning, and then most importantly on the field, all three phases. Being your best when your best is needed, and sometimes throughout the offseason we do that. Pull up a teammate, I'm sure the coaches as well, but just trying to be the best each and every day that I go through the offseason.
Derek, that quote that you said about being at your best when your best is needed, that's something that Justin Miller even said to us. I remember at his introductory press conference. Is that something that you feel like was a big deal for you guys? That's something that you maybe weren't as great as before that you want to put an emphasis on now?
I mean, it's football. You know, some years will be better than others, and like I said, we got new coaching staff. So you know, we're just trying to help just to build that culture, you know, amongst each other and by the way we work, and keep that mindset each and every day.
Who's Adam Randall? Has he impressed you thus far? What has struck you to work with him, or is a fellow tall running back?
Yeah, big guy.
Yeah. What are your impressions?
I play receiver. I watched him a little bit in college. I think he's a good player. Since he's got here, he's been working. He was head down, working, teaching every day, wanting to learn. Just wanting to get better. That's all you want as a rookie. I'm always going to be here to help him in any way I can, but just love his approach every day to come to work.
As a veteran, now for your approach, your work ethic, your adherence to your routines and your conditioning. When you start, you know, in off season, do you try to find ways to reinvent it for yourself? I mean, do you ever look to like change things up or freshen up, or is this part of the year sort of your bread and butter, just getting back into the season?
You know, probably just a little bit hard getting out of bed, touching my toes a little bit. No, it's the same approach. I love putting the work in, positioning, being in the weight room, being around guys, putting the work in the off season. And around this time, this is where you get to tune up everything, make mistakes, learn from those mistakes, and then when training camp comes around, you're rolling. The off season, just putting the work in as much as you can so the results fall.
So you talked about Adam kind of putting the work in. I mean, when you get to the position you're in, how aware do you become of guys are watching me, guys might do as I do? My example kind of sets the tone.
I mean, that's my mindset. If there's nobody out here, because I'm watching myself, I'm always critical of myself. Whatever rep I take, whether it's an individual or we're doing run tracks or I'm taking a rep, we got the video pad out there to watch and play. The rep that we just did, so I'm going back to watch that. So I'm always trying to work as hard as I can, get as much out of the rep. I could be a vocal leader, but I like my work to show. And when I need to speak, I will. But just trying to be a great example for myself, and also with the other guys being as well.
Yeah, you've had just a different system throughout your career. You've been out there. With that new system, how is it a big adjustment? Small adjustment? So far, I know it's early, but how do you think that transition was?
Yeah, I mean, I've learned offenses before. Some offenses have similar terminology, some don't. But yeah, I mean, it's all a part of football. You know, when change happens, but you gotta be a pro about it, and it's your job. You gotta learn it, and you know, I go through that same process. But you know, I've been enjoying it. It's been fun. I'm going on year 11. Thank you, God and Jesus. And yeah, just enjoying it. Learning the system, getting to know the coaches, and get better with it. Yeah, I did. Yeah, they on the ground a little bit. The ground felt like a bed for me. And I seen y'all look hot and bored, so I'm like, I need to get something sweet. Right? Y'all do it.
Welcome back. Appreciate y'all. So, how much pride does the offense take in that best, to be the best drill where you see the defense do all the push-ups?
I mean, we take pride in anything we do around here. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's how it is for both sides. But you know, obviously, when it comes to competition, we gonna try to do our best to, win.
John, you primarily played left guard in your career. What's your perspective as a veteran potentially switching to the right side versus a rookie like Vanga switching to the left side, where he played primarily in college?
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm here to win some games. And like no matter where they put him at, my job is to go out there and compete. So wherever they want to put me at.
In terms of technique, do you feel like it's like a big switch or a smaller switch?
I mean, switching positions is going to be tough for anybody, but like I said, I'm here to win games.
What are your first impressions of Vanga? Obviously, tremendous draft pick and a lot of high potential, but what do you like about what he does?
Yeah, he's one of those guys that just he sits back there and just soaks everything in. He's not a real loud vocal guy yet. I think that'll come with time and experience. But he's one of those guys that sit back there and just like observes everything, and he kind of like soaks it all up like a sponge almost. He's really intelligent for sure.
Is he calling you big dog? Or is that just
Nah, that's between him and coach.
John, how did you coming back to Baltimore kind of come together?
I mean, well, my agent called me and told me that this was like an option, and for me it was a no-brainer. Just being in this environment and being around these people, being in this organization is just something that I feel like one just shouldn't turn down.
John, along those lines, your first time around here, you were kind of trying to get your career back on track and get back into a starting job. What did it mean for you knowing that this team underwent a lot of change with the interior O-line and still is, that they targeted you and said, hey, we want you to come back, we want you to be a starter and be a big part of that?
No, it means a whole lot, and it, like for them to want me to come here and kind of like just like help this organization out, it's huge, because this is such a great organization, I respect everybody up there in the front office, and I appreciate that for bringing me back for sure.
How do you think Coach Leffler can help him continue to progress?
I think I said this in an interview I had on the podcast, but I think he's a really, really great coach, and I think he's a really good teacher, more so than anything. And he takes his time to like slow things down and really teach it, I feel like how it should be taught. And he breaks it down to the smallest little details, just so you can understand it and so you can play faster. And I think that'll help me out a whole lot, just so I can get out there and know exactly what I got, know my assignment, and just play ball.
John, obviously, when you bring a new coaching staff in, you're going to undergo a lot of changes, whether that's systematic or culture-based. Comparatively to your first go-around here in Baltimore, what have you noticed, at least in the first couple of weeks here, difference-wise in culture specifically, between that coaching staff and this coaching staff?
I feel like the culture is what the culture is here, and I feel like that part didn't really change much. I feel like it's gonna be a family here. They're gonna expect you to work hard, and that's how football should be. So I feel like the culture didn't really change much as far as that goes.
I think a lot of guys in the offensive line room who are coming back, including Lonnie, including Roger, probably feel like there were some things left on the table last year. Position. I mean, do you get a sense from guys who are returning that there's a bit of a chip on their shoulder, trying to prove that they're better than they should last year?
Oh, most definitely. But I feel like that with any offensive line group, you go in like if a team didn't win the Super Bowl last year, then they got a chip on their shoulder. So I feel like every year you got to come in with that chip on your shoulder just to try to prove that you belong in this league. So.
Do you notice there's more participation in obviously to look at this summer than maybe any of those we were in Baltimore, and if so, do you attribute that to just wanting to get on the same foot as this new coaching staff?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know too much about participating last time I was here or now, but I would guess that's a part of it. These guys just want to like buy in and learn as much as they can and soak up all the information so we can go out there and play fast.
Coach Leffler talked about how he has to instill really attacking mentality with the offensive line, almost like you're playing D-line when you're attacking. What does that do for an offensive line, and how much do you guys think you got that mentality?
No, I mean, I think that's like, as far as like the trenches go, and I kind of talked about this before, but as far as the trenches go, I feel like that's like the main priority is just like imposing your will on the person in front of you, and that's since day one, that's what he's been drilling in our head. It's just speed off the ball, and I bring this up all the time. Speed off the ball, and I like that. It just creates so much more hesitation from the defense in a sense. So I think that's his mindset behind us coming off the ball fast, getting lined up fast, and stuff like that.
I know you haven't done it all night, but they're using that back. What do you think is going to be like to block for running back like that?
I don't even got words to explain. I ain't gonna lie. I don't got words to explain it, but I mean, the best way I can explain it is just like crazy. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be fun for sure. So,
John, what are your first impression of the game? You can tell he's not really a natural center. I guess it's a new ball.
Yeah, no, I think Danny's been great, man. Coming in, communicating well, just knowing his stuff, man, and and he's playing at a level I feel like where we can get up there. He calls it out, we just go, and that's what you need from the center. So he's been soaking it all up and just being great at where he's going.
I guess at this point in the offseason, there's like the center, along with the quarterback, have to be one of the smartest guy at the line of scrimmage. How much install you guys are doing?
Oh, for sure. Center kind of like sets up everything, and if you got a smart center, then that can lead a long way for sure. So most definitely.
Good. Thank you, John.
a lot of relationships with guys that were on the staff and players from previous places. So it was an easy transition for me. Love what they're doing here. AP, DQ, Coach Monte, and Command and tackling and so on and so forth. So I'm enjoying it, loving it. I love the system here. I like what we got going on, especially in the first second.
What has jumped out about the system and the website?
The system is really D-line friendly. A lot of stuff, tools that keep you on one-on-one blocks in the run game, and then a lot of, for the interior guys, picks and stunts, kind of just natural kind of things. And then when you look all across the board, you got talent. Talk about it, man. You got Bowie, you got me, you got Kevin, you got DP, you got KC, you got Newton. You know what I mean? So you got a lot of pieces here. And then when DA gets back, then you got linebacker crew is exceptional. Contract, you got Lufu, you got Rio, so there's a lot of guys, McGee, a lot of guys that, when you look back there, you look around, you feel very confident about.
You mentioned all those names, a lot of versatile, a lot of great players. How do they make you better? How do you guys push each other during these early days to kind of form that bond and get each other better?
Yeah, when you got a lot of guys who play at a high level, it's just like the standard is like we all got to eat, we all got to be dogs. So when you have that, you can never let small details slide, and everything you got next to you don't allow it to slide. So it just elevates your game. When you have all those guys together in a unit, it just everybody was good. You just got so many guys around you that are really good players.
You've seen Jaden as an opposing member of a different team, but now he's your teammate. You have interactions with him. You see him up close and personal. What do you think about Jaden Daniels as a quarterback?
Yeah, super cool, calm, collected. I definitely see that. I saw it from afar. I can see it from playing against you guys last year, and then just on the tape, like on the tape, you can see that he just has a big clutch gene. I mean, Chicago game, everybody remembers that from his day at LSU as well. So you can just see he has a command of things. He's very cool, calm, collected. The guys respect him, and you know that he's a playmaker, and he's whether it's with his arm or his feet, just you never know how to put them.
You were with obviously presence or expected to be recognized.
Yeah, the calm and cool and the command. Those are the things when you talk about really, really good quarterbacks, they have those. They're never too high, they're never too low. So it just kind of keeps everybody even keeled. And he's just cerebral in his mindset and the way he goes about things. You can just tell that he's playing the game up here before he even kind of like get the snap and all those type of things.
As a new player in a new organization, what is your biggest challenge?
To show that to kind of like the things I've done in the league. I've played in big games, I've made plays in big games that haven't been paid before. So, but those things kind of go away when you come to a new organization. You want to show, hey, I belong here. I want to insert myself into the culture. I want to show you guys that I work hard, that I come out here and bring my lunch bell, and want to just show my best. But all like I said, all those things don't matter. Every year is a new year. You have to prove yourself now doing that. That's why.
The guys who play the most of the spots, it's the defense, because people get those for guys who can play.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Versatility is really, really they like that here. They like guys that can play multiple positions, play up and down the line. Sooner or later, y'all can see me standing up outside line. You know what I mean? So I'm excited. That's a big thing that I found is going to help me. And just in my mind, my mindset is getting back to that high level of play that I was at in 23 and in 22 my last year in San Fran. And of course, you can see that high level of just impact in the pass game and in the run game from different spots. So I think this defense is really, really going to show that, and it shows from day one. It's not just kind of like coach talk.
Excited about this year. Excited to actually do this offseason. So that's a plus this year. Feel really good. So I think we brought a lot of good additions into the team, and culturally, I always have a very strong belief in it, what BQ does. So it's been a good offseason so far.
What do you like about changing systems?
I really do like our offense a lot. The style that we are presenting, I think it's very beneficial for us. An aspect of, especially the run game, obviously play action and draw back. But I think from a schematic standpoint of the Vikings, defense that we're seeing. I mean, we saw what they did to us last year. They're a tough defense. They have you guessing a lot, so it's good to go against that. You know, you always hear that quote, "Iron sharpens iron." So being able to go against really talented and skilled guys like that, it's good to.
How is this system beneficial for the run game?
You know, I think being under center, you know, helps a lot. You know, not just being a little bit less one-dimensional and being able to drop back or gun. So having both of those to our ability definitely can help us moving forward. So I really do like what Coach Blas been able to put together this offense.
Obviously, one big change right now in offensive line, the center position. Nick Allegretti probably going to get that first crack. What do you see from Nick? What gives you confidence that he can do that job?
Yeah, so Nick's a really, really intelligent guy. Like, he's smart. You got to be pretty smart to play center. I always say, play guard really well, you know, sure you can play center. So he was able to do it in the 2024 season the whole year. Have full and utter confidence in his ability to play center at a high level. Huh? You know, I really, really like where I'm at right now. So we're gonna stick to that right there.
Sam, with the new system, how much of an adjustment is it for you guys up front?
Not a ton. You know, we still have a lot of concepts. I mean, it's like I said, the under center is a little different, but I would say it's obviously more of a traditional style NFL style offense. So for us, you know, you're gonna have your same concepts that you have every other offense. They just run a different way, or the verbal aspect of things is just a little different. So it's not really that difficult.
Is it the long play calls similar to like typical West Coast, or is it?
I mean, they're not the longest ever. Let's just keep it like that. So it's not too bad. It really it's going for offense.
I know it's really important to see changes that are coming in.
Yeah, you know, I think his approach, especially to this new system and how he's adopted it, and how he's been studying it the whole offseason. You can tell, you know. And so they've done a really good job of like being able to, you know, build his confidence to help our conference learn this stuff. So like he has full range of everything. So they're getting a little bit more on his play when it comes to the mental aspect of things, and he's doing fine.
Sam, obviously last year didn't go the way anybody wanted. As you're here now, you notice a focus of maybe intensity, energy going into this season, knowing what happened kind of last year disappointing?
Yeah, I think there is a little bit more fire on our ass when it comes to being out here. I think the intensity is definitely ramped up for sure, which is good. You need it. And so I think when it comes to that, it's going to make us better.
Sam, how much different was this offseason for you personally? Just not having it, like having the full offseason?
Yeah, I mean, huge. I still was developing my leg the whole offseason, but from a standpoint of developing everything else, I think this is the best I've felt in a very, very long time. Just overall, I've been able to improve everything in that aspect of physical and strong. I feel like the agility aspect of things. So I went hard this offseason just because last offseason was just trying to make it back. You know, I appreciate it.
Again, super early, but not really case for the year they
Yeah, I mean he's way more aware in the aspect of just being communicate with him, and you can tell like he's understanding the ball way better when it comes to just being able to communicate. He's a smart dude. He gets it, you know. And so it's cool because he's able to see things, and we're on the same page. Which, being a rookie, you're just trying to figure out, you know, what the heck am I doing? So you could definitely see that developing.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you, guys.
Let's go ahead and just get into all of the things that I saw. Welcome back to football. Even though it's May, you just can't not have football, right? Like, it just seems like we all need football. Why not? And so today was the first day back today seeing all of the team, which looks like everybody was in attendance or somewhere in the building. Of course, there are some players that are dealing with some injuries still. So we did see Dorrance Armstrong and Dietrich Wise at practice, but of course they were not practicing. Trey Amos was in the building, but not at practice. So we know some folks are still around, but they weren't actually practicing because they had injuries. The offensive line, of course, all of the position groups we're going to be looking at, right? And seeing what they're doing, what they have going on. David Blau's offense, we're still trying to figure out, okay, what will that, entail? But there's still a lot to see, especially at that center position for the Washington Commanders. Right now, it sounds like Nick Allegretti will be getting the start there, but it remains to be seen. Quarterback Jaden Daniels, right? Quarterback Jaden Daniels, JD5. Admittedly, I didn't spend too much time watching Jaden today. I really did not, because we already know what type of time Jaden is on. If you all haven't learned anything else about Jaden Daniels so far, in watching him and hearing him talk about his love of football, passion for the game, wanting to win, you've heard many of his coaches, his teammates, all of us in the media talk about his competitive spirit. So full anticipation that he wants to win and wants to do well and is preparing for that accordingly. So all of the energy there for him. Seems like he's getting used to his targets. And you all know I like to call them assets. So definitely seems like he is absolutely getting engaged there. That quarterback room, still keeping that contingent close. The linebackers. I like to say admittedly now, seeing someone else in 54 after the last 2 years in person, that was interesting. That was different.